So welcome back to the Checkmk channel. Today we show you how easy it is to manage your sites on a Checkmk appliance. So the first thing is that we are going to update an existing Checkmk site to a new version.
Right, because the last video was some time ago, so there are new updates to the Checkmk software, and now we want to update the site that you created earlier. So I want to move to the site management, but first we need to upload the new version, of course.
Let's just have a look at the current situation maybe. So we will have one site at version 200p9.
Right,
and
that's my
it.
site. And now we want to update the version. So we're going to navigate to versions over here.
Maybe just one word for those who have never done a Checkmk update. So the idea is that installing a new Checkmk version and updating an instance are two separate steps. You can have several Checkmk versions at the same time on the appliance. So the first step is to install a new Checkmk version. Then we have two versions and just one is used. Then we move up one of the sites to the new version.
That's the process. Yeah, thanks for that. So let's navigate through the process we just heard. We are going to versions, and there we can select the setup file which we acquired earlier.
So you already have downloaded the Checkmk version with a .cma suffix.
Right, that's the extension for the appliance. So depending on the platform you want to update, you need dedicated setups. In this case, it's a CMA setup file.
So in this case, we install the P16, the 16th patch level of the Checkmk 2.0.
Right, yeah. And that's basically it. I'm pressing on upload and install.
And the interesting thing is right now, nothing really happens. So you just get a new version.
Yeah.
It has no influence on any existing site. It cannot break anything. It's just basically providing a new version.
Exactly. It's just installed within the appliance and we can use it however we want, but no running instance is affected in any way.
Okay.
Actually, we can see down here with the versions which site is using which version. So we can always at one glance see what version is used by which site.
So the new version is not being used by any site. So I could delete it.
Right.
For example, if it's an old version, I don't need any longer. I can delete it if I need the space or something.
Yeah, if I have several versions installed, I can just clean up like this.
Okay, cool. So how can I now update the My Site to this new version?
Right, so we are moving back to the Sites menu over here. And there we have our site. And then there's this yellow-orange arrow. If you put your mouse on it, you can see it says update the site. So I'm going to click on it. And now we can select which target version we want to update to.
Just this one target version, so there's no real choice.
At this point, there's no choice, so we already see that the new version, the more recent version, was selected as the default. So now we can go to update. And now we are asked, I did that intentionally, we have to stop the site to update it. That sounds...
Okay, you have to stop it manually. No, it does it for you.
It does it for you. That's the nice part. That's why I didn't stop it manually before. So it asks us, of course, if we want to do that, so that we are aware of this.
So many words, just one single button press at the end.
Right.
Just
quite
press
easy.
yes, and here we go.
That's it. There's the yes.
That's the reason why the yes has an exclamation mark, because that's
right. It's like with most of the websites,
the way to go.
What you want to click is highlighted. Yeah. So it takes a few seconds to stop the site. Then the update runs. We get a whole lot of output here.
In the very unlikely case that something goes wrong, which normally doesn't really happen, because Checkmk does not have any bugs, you would probably get some output here.
Right, so you won't just want to skip through the output, scan it if there is anything that looks out of the ordinary. After 2 or 3 updates, you know what looks right.
But I mean, if it's green, if it's okay, I needn't really care about what's going on here, don't I?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's always sensible to skip through it, but if you're following the works of the software, you know what changes there are. If there's any action to do in general, if it's green and it says your finished update, you're good to go. So that's that.
That's it.
We can move back.
End of the video. No, we want to. We wanted to show something more. Oh, you need to start the site again.
Right. I just wanted to say you have to start the site manually after the update because it stops it automatically, but there might be some steps you want to take, or maybe you want to have several sites updated at the same time and start them at the same time again. So in this situation, you just want to start the site after your update.
Yes, makes sense.
Takes a few seconds, and then you can see it's up and running again.
So super simple.
And that's that for the update.
So next question, I've told the audience that you can have several sites in parallel. Can they use different versions?
Right. Yes, they can. Let me just show you real quick here. We can create a new site. And now I have the possibility to select both of the versions. So I could go with the most recent one, or if I want to test or try something with the older version, I could just select the older version.
But the usual use case would be to install the new version, create maybe a test site with the new version.
Right.
Check out some new cool features of the new version.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a major update.
Right.
You can check out the new version if the new features work out for you.
Yeah.
And later update your production site.
Yeah, right. That would be the process. Yeah, so I'm just gonna name the site my site 2. I'm not that creative with names. We have the admin.
I see you like the underscores. I hate the underscores. I would never choose underscores in a site name, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
If you
it's
feel
not a
like
problem.
underscores, do it.
It depends on how your infrastructure looks like. Just feel free. All right, yeah, that's the site ID, the version as set. We configure the admin.
One hint from me: if it's just a test site for trying out something, you probably want to disable the auto start, because if you're finished with your test, you stop the site, and if you would reboot the appliance, then the test site would start automatically. And that's sometimes I ran into that problem. I had a couple of dozen test sites.
Yeah, that's
and
not.
You reboot your system, and all these sites start. You don't want that. So you might want to disable the auto start if it's just.
Right, we're just going to do that
test,
here. Yeah. Do we want to talk about the other options here?
Maybe just as we have seen them here, I can see the event console. The event console, you might know, is a system for retrieving active notifications like from syslog or SNMP traps. You can have a Checkmk site receive these events. The important thing to know is that on one host, just one process can listen for UDP messages or TCP messages on this port 514, which is needed for syslog. So just one of the sites can have the event console enabled. And that's the thing you can do here. So simply enable the services you want to use. And then you get a working event console on that site.
Right, and can receive events there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole lot of more options. For example, the notification spooler that is used in centralized notification. Yeah. I think that's a different topic. But
also interesting might be the enable access to live status via network. So if you create a distributed monitoring environment, you usually have one central site and a couple of, let's call it, remote sites. And the remote sites need to have the access to live status enabled in order to attach them to your central site.
Right. Yeah, that's a requirement. If you want to do distributed monitoring, you cannot do that without enabling this on the site.
Yeah. So in a manual Checkmk installation, you would have this OMD config where you can then enable this live status via TCP. And here it's on the tick box on the web interface.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so that's it. That's it. I'm going to create the site.
So we have a second site up and running. Now we have two independent sites, but we could join them together, have the new site be the remote site. Yeah, that's a different topic, and we have made there already exists a video about distributed monitoring you might want to check out. And
so that wraps it up for the moment.
That's for today. Thanks. You probably go to start the site as a final step.
Sure, will do.
That's more than trivial. So thanks for watching and see you next time.